正解。
Rebirth of the Malicious Empress of Military Lineage, Chapter 140, Soon Cannot Make It. Heavens had blessed thus even though the weather for the next few days was not good. The particular day that Feng and Ning wanted to go out, it was good and the sun was up. As the sun was warm, it was particularly comfortable when the sunlight shone onto them. However, despite this, Shen Miao still wore a rabbit fur cloak. Even though there was a blazer in the house, it was difficult to protect oneself from winds outside. It would be a troublesome thing if one were to catch a cold with the weather like this. Early in the morning, Feng and Ning's horse carriage was in front of the doors of the Shen mansion to pick up Lu Tan and Shen Miao. The Feng family doted on Feng and Ning a lot, so since Feng and Ning had already finished all the classes in Guangwentang, she was unable to stay in the residence and would go out shopping every day. It was just that no matter how big the Ding capital was, there would be a day when one would finally get bored. Lu Tan's arrival was a joy to Feng and Ning, as she was very happy to be the one guiding Lu Tan around and searched for new and fresh places for her. However, as time passed, Feng and Ning could not tolerate. Lu Tan was indeed a young lady from the Lu family, and she did not bother to look at clothing or jewelry shops, but kept on heading towards the weapon shops. Once she saw a unique weapon, her eyes sparkled. How would Feng and Ning understand all these? Thus she insisted on bringing Shen Miao along. Feng and Ning wore a cherry blossom flowered dress with a brocade cloak, making her look extremely bright in winter. These days her appearance had matured and she was especially pretty. However, when she opened her mouth to speak, the pretty appearance became somewhat arrogant. She lifted the curtain of her horse carriage and said hurriedly, "Wait till one die already." Still would not come up. She did not expect that the person standing outside the horse carriage was Shen Kaiyu. Shen Kaiyu sent Shen Miao and Lu Tan out, and he knew that Shen Miao had only one friend, Feng and Ning, in the Ding capital. His memory was still stuck with the little shy young female, but who knew that the one who lifted the curtain was a lively young lady. When the young lady saw that it was him, her head shrank and her high-pitched and arrogant voice lowered and softened. Vice General Shen Kaiyu glanced at Feng and Ning unfathomably and nodded his head as a greeting. He let Shen Miao and Lu Tan up the horse carriage, and instructed them to pay attention to safety before leaving. Because this was Feng and Ning's invite, there were a number of the Feng's family's guards that were brought along. Shen Miao and Lu Tan did not bring other guards, as they thought that Feng and Ning would send them back to Shen Mansion afterwards. After Shen Kaiyu left, Feng and Ning patted her chest and finally felt relief. It was very strange, as every time Feng and Ning saw Shen Kaiyu, she would have an instinct of being afraid. Even though Shen Kaiyu did not criticize her for her temperament, but the majestic air of a vice general was still present. Feng and Ning once again thought about Shen Kaiyu's appearance just now. After not seeing for the past 2 years, Shen Kaiyu, who had been practicing for the past 2 years, had become more mature. Even though he was still a warm and gentle eldest brother, but in the eyes of others, he was awe-inspiring. Lu Tan asked Feng and Ning, "Why are you blushing?" Feng and Ning was startled, and quickly touched her cheeks before realizing that they were really weirdly hot. She covered up using her hands as fans. "This carriage is stuffy and somewhat hot." Lu Tan did not doubt her. "It is you that wore too heavily." Then she suddenly thought of something. "Ning, why are you afraid of Biao older brother? Since when have I been scared of him?" Feng and Ning immediately refuted once she heard Lu Tan's words, which shocked Lu Tan. "Just now you obviously looked like you were afraid." Lu Tan said, "What is there to be shameful about? But Biao older brother is a very good person and just look fierce on the outside. If you are even scared of Biao older brother, wait till you meet older brother Sa. You will then know what a black-faced god is." Lu Sa was 1,000 miles away from Lu Tan, but she had already smeared his name to her good friend. Feng and Ning stressed herself. "I am not afraid of him," Lu Tan said. All right, you are not afraid. Is that all right now?" Shen Miao, who was observing silently at the side, saw that Feng and Ning's cheeks were flushed up with anger, and her heart suddenly moved. Because the family of the supervisor of attendants stood in the wrong team, Master Feng was implicated, and in order to protect this pearl in his hand, he could only marry her off to a cousin of his family in advance, who knew that not only that cousin was shabby. After the Feng family declined, he raised a family outside and even had a son. With Feng Anning's arrogant temperament, how would she be able to tolerate those grievances? She then picked up a scissors and ended in mutual destruction with that external family. In this lifetime, because of Shen Miao meddling, the forces within the Mingqi's imperial family were now evenly matched, and Master Feng had not taken his stand. But with the previous life sending, one could not guarantee that it would not happen again. Shen Miao did not have any feelings for the Feng family, but if it was Feng Anning, then she would want to help. Feng Anning always made her think about Wang Yun, and all pitiful people who were implicated by the family clans. "What are you looking at me for?" Feng Anning saw Shen Miao staring at her and did not know what she was thinking. Thus she thought that Shen Miao was still thinking about Lu Tan's words. She said exasperatedly, "You also think that I am afraid of your eldest brother?" Lu Tan laughed behind her sleeves, before Shen Miao recovered to her senses and shook her head. "It is not so. Just find that your dress is somewhat unique." Ordinary females would love to hear others flattering them, and no matter how much anger Feng Anning has, she was unable to be angry with Shen Miao's words. "Of course, this is the pattern that my mother had got people to get for me." Shen Miao's eyes hung down and she sighed in her heart. Let it be. Everyone had their own fate. One would not be able to eat hot and curd if one was anxious. Thus some things had to be done slowly. One had to say that when three of them were shopping around, it was more tiring than two persons, because Feng Anning wanted to visit the jewelry and clothing shops, and Lu Tan only wanted to look at weapons, so they had to shop from the west to the east and from the north to the south of the city. Lu Tan and Feng Anning kept on bickering, and the noise made Shen Miao's head ache. When going out with these two people, it was just like a mother bringing her kids along. At the end, after they argued, they would both tagged her at the same time, and said that Shen Miao was young but was just like an old woman and was more boring than the monks in the temple. At the end, Shen Miao could not be bothered about them at all. This day was exceptionally lively as three young ladies were shopping around, and the stuff that they bought filled the carriage that there almost was not any place left. Feng Anning was however feeling proud, as every time Shen Miao and Lu Tan liked anything, she would wave her hands, "Buy." If Shen Miao blocked this, it would be fear that Feng Anning would move the entire jewelry shop back to her residence. After eating, drinking, playing, and when the sun was almost setting down, everyone also planned to return back to the residence. Because Shen Miao and Lu Tan were invited out by Feng Anning, it was not convenient to bring too many guards, so Shen Miao did not bring along the Shen Mansion's guards and wanted to take the Feng family's carriage back home. Who knew that when they left the shop and returned to the carriage, Feng Anning turned over her pouch and became anxious. "The cat eye hairpin that I just bought is gone." Feng Anning had visited all the jewelry shops in the Ding capital today, and if one were to say what she was satisfied with, it would be the butterfly-shaped cat eye hairpin. That cat eye was a transparent and rare blue jewel, making it very beautiful to look at. When Feng Anning was in the restaurant eating, she took it out to scrutinize with Shen Miao. Shen Miao said, "Search again. Just now it was in your hands, so how can it disappear?" Feng Anning said, "I do not know." "Still do not go back to look?" Shen Miao said, "You just left, so if it was left behind, the people in the restaurant would have picked it up." "I will accompany you to take a look." Feng Anning thought about it. "I will go myself, and it would be only for a short time. If it cannot be found, then let it be. It is a pity on the money spent. It is difficult to see something that one likes." Lu Tan was somewhat speechless. Feng Anning was indeed wealthy. Speaking of which, although the Feng family was wealthy, it was not at this level of squandering. It was nothing more than the Feng family truly loved and doted on Feng Anning, that there was no shortage of money for her to spend. Thus that led to Feng Anning being unable to have any perspective of money, that even if something was lost, the first reaction was it is difficult to see something that one likes. "I will bring a few guards up to take a look." Feng Anning said, "Wait here for me. I will be right down." Shen Miao nodded her head. Feng Anning took almost all the guards, and this was most probably to make a strong point, just in case the waiter in the restaurant wanted her possessions. When they saw Feng and Ning's stance, they would be timid about it. After Feng and Ning left, there was only Lu Tan and Shen Miao left with 4 guards outside. Lu Tan looked at the skies and said, "When Ning returns, it would be dark when we return to the residence." She then stretched out lazily. "It is sure tiring today. Tomorrow I am going to be lazy and no one can disturb me." Shen Miao kept to her silence. Just now someone was still very interested to play around this happily the next time. Just as she was thinking, she suddenly heard a guard speaking from the outside. "Shen young lady, Lu young lady." This subordinate just picked up young lady's hairpin. Lu Tan sighed. She opened the curtains and indeed saw that the guard standing outside the horse carriage was holding a shimmering hairpin in his hand. Was not this the cat-eye hairpin that Feng and Ning lost? Lu Tan frowned. This Ning is really careless. The thing fell onto the ground yet she did not realize it. That guard moved towards the horse carriage 2 steps. When Lu Tan reached her hands out to pick up that hairpin, just as she held onto that hairpin, that guard suddenly flung Lu Tan out. Another guard of the Feng residence suddenly jumped onto the carriage, and pulled the driver down before whipping the horse. When the horse felt the pain, it slammed its hoofs down and started running crazily. Everything happened so quickly, that the other 2 guards of the Feng residence were unable to react. When they finally reacted, Shen Miao and the horse carriage were already a distance away. The fortunate thing was that Lu Tan was still in the carriage. She reacted very quickly, thus when that guard tried to fling her out, Lu Tan was already firmly grasping the carriage door and jumped back. This was a period where every second counted, thus the man did not continue struggling with Lu Tan and leaped onto another horse, and headed towards the direction of outside the city. There were a number of commoners on the streets, and they were all stunned by that horse who was charging violently. Some of the stalls that were unable to dodge were overturned, but they did not know who was that arrogant. That horse carriage was in great speed, slamming Shen Miao and Lu Tan around inside. At the crucial moment, Lu Tan still remembered to pull Shen Miao's hand over. "Be our youngest sister, do not be afraid. We will jump off the carriage and reveal our identity. There are so many people outside, so we have to take that into consideration." Shen Miao's heart slightly warmed up. Even though the entire carriage was out of control, she said, "It is too late. Look outside." Lu Tan looked outside the carriage and she was stunned. The familiar streets just now had disappeared. The small alleys were shrewdly twisted around, and there was not a person in sight. One did not know where this road was. Despair suddenly appeared in Lu Tan's heart, as she was only thinking of jumping off the carriage to save their lives, but at this moment, there was no one, so even if they jump off, they would still be the meat on others' cutting board. "Do not worry. They should be targeting me, so when it is time, you should feint or try another means to escape. They will not do anything to you." Shen Miao said, "How could I leave you and escape myself?" Lu Tan grabbed Shen Miao's hand. "At that time you saved the Lu family in the Zhaochun city. Even if I cannot save you, I will not leave you. If we were to die, we will die together." Shen Miao was somewhat dumbfounded. Now was not the time to be discussing about heroic loyalty. She forcefully managed to sit up in the violently moving carriage and whispered in Lu Tan's ear, "Remember, if you succeed in escaping, think of ways to send a letter to Prince Rui's residence. Just say that there is a transaction to be done and prices will be discussed later." Lu Tan was blank when she heard this and looked suspiciously at Shen Miao. "How is this related to Prince Rui? Be our youngest sister. You do not ask so much." Shen Miao said, "This matter is of great importance, so do not mention the matter of Prince Rui to anyone else. I only tell you because I trust you." Lu Tan nodded her head but then shook her head again. "No, I will not leave you alone." Shen Miao still wanted to say more, but that horse carriage suddenly came to a stop, and Shen Miao and Lu Tan were unable to react before they crashed against the horse carriage. The curtain was suddenly torn off and a person came in to drag Shen Miao out. Lu Tan clinged onto Shen Miao's thighs. "Be our youngest sister." She put in every single effort from her body, but even as such, The person outside still dragged Shen Miao away. That person was very angry and kicked Lu Tan. Even if Lu Tan was trained in martial arts all year round in the Lu family, she was still after all a young female. To be kicked that devastatingly, she immediately fell out of the carriage. The dong sound shocked Shen Miao when she heard it. The remaining guard urged on, "Hurry up, do not be discovered by others." They directly tore the carriage apart. One of the two persons did not even say anything before stuffing a cloth into Shen Miao's mouth, and tied her hands and legs before making Shen Miao faint and throw her to the back of the horse, making Lu Tan spit fire when she saw those actions. Lu Tan's gaze suddenly landed on a short sword that fell from the horse carriage. Today, after shopping with Feng and Ning at the jewelry store, they also mercifully went to the weapons shop with Lu Tan, and that short sword was bought then. She did not even thought about it and grabbed it before heading towards that person. That person was however one that practices martial arts and with a few moves, tossed Lu Tan onto the ground. Lu Tan's gaze suddenly changed and said, "Military family." This was not a common guard. These few moves were clearly unique to military families. At least these two people were related to the military. When that person heard Lu Tan's words, he suddenly exposed his viciousness and grabbed the short sword from Lu Tan's hands and slashed her. Lu Tan leaned over and slowly fell down. The other person urged on, "Do not dally. Quickly leave." That person then threw a knife away and rode another horse. Both of them quickly disappeared into the small alley. In the gloomy dark alley, there was only a dismantled horse carriage as Lu Tan collapsed onto the ground. A large patch of a red stain gradually spread across her apricot-colored dress, making it look particularly frightening. Feng and Ning raised her hand and slapped both of the guards. Both guards suddenly collapsed and kowtowed. These subordinates were unable to protect the masters. "May young lady punish?" "Punish?" Feng and Ning did not burst in anger but laughed. "How would I punish you? Beating or sell off? What is the use of punishing? Will Shen Miao and Lu Tan return?" Both guards remained silent. They had tried to catch up with the carriage, but that horse carriage was extremely fast, and when they started chasing, there was already a distance. The other party seemed to be prepared and the routes that were taken were all small roads, thus they did not know at the end where did they go. Feng and Ning almost gone crazy. She only just went up the restaurant to ask the waiter if he had seen her cat's eye hairpin, and when she returned back, the carriage had disappeared and the surrounding people were all pointing around. After inquiring from the maid, she then realized that someone had stolen her horse carriage, and in that carriage, Shen Miao and Lu Tan were inside. After not too long, the two remaining guards returned, but they did not know the whereabouts of the carriage. Feng and Ning looked at the hairpin on the floor that was filled with dust and closed her eyes. Even if she was oblivious normally, she was well aware of things at this moment. Someone has planned and infiltrated into their Feng family's guards, and it was all to kidnap Shen Miao and Lu Tan. What kind of people Shen Miao and Lu Tan were? One was the daughter of Shin Zins and the other was Lu Zuyan's blood niece. No matter which one, they were both reputable and famous in the Ding capital. For someone to even dare to scheme against them, it meant that the other party was willing to take such a risk. And everything bodes ill as there was no positive signs for Shen Miao and Lu Tan. Thinking till here, Feng and Ning started to tremble. It was her who invited Shen Miao and Lu Tan out to shop in the Ding capital. It was her who wanted to go up to the restaurant. If she did not return to look for that hairpin, perhaps the few more guards would have been able to defend against those perpetrators. If she had not said that it was inconvenient and agreed to let Shen Miao bring more guards from Shen residence, there would not be such a setback like this. If she did not invite Shen Miao out, such a thing would not have happened today. It is her. It is all her fault. Feng and Ning's body was wavering, and when the maid by her side saw it, she jumped in shock and quickly went up to support her. Young lady must not blame oneself and harm one's health. Masters and Furen's heart will ache upon seeing this. Feng and Ning shook her head and smiled bitterly. Fathers and mothers' hearts will ache with me like this. So how would Shen Furen and General Shen not be like that? Even if they were to kill me, I would not be able to make up for the mistakes I made. With a sullen expression, she burst into tears in the middle of the restaurant, not caring of her identity. What happened? Where is Zhao Zhao and Bia's younger sister? She heard a strong sober male voice coming from outside the restaurant. Feng Anning loosened her hands and saw Shen Kaiyu striding in, and there was a small group of soldiers following him. Each one had an imposing manner and formidable might that the people in the restaurant could not help but shrink their heads. Today Shen Kaiyu left from work early, and wanted to go back to the residence to ask Shen Miao and Lu Tan to go hunting on another day, but who knew that before he returned back to the residence, he heard his subordinate reported that Shen Miao and Lu Tan went out with Feng Anning and an incident happened at the restaurant. Xin Xin and Lu Zuyan had yet to return to the residence, so naturally they were not aware of this news. When Shen Kaiyu knew about it, he rushed over without stopping his horse, who knew that when he reached, he saw the baleful appearance of the restaurant, and that usually proud Feng family's young lady in the middle bursting into tears. In a short moment Shen Kaiyu had a dreaded feeling to it. He strode over to Feng Anning and asked, "What happened?" Feng Anning was startled. Shen Kaiyu stood in front of her and he was tall in stature but was anxious. Suddenly Feng Anning became somewhat speechless. Shen Kaiyu and Shen Miao had a good relationship and this was a fact that everyone knew of. Shen Kaiyu was even willing to murder and commit arson for Shen Miao. So what would happen when Shen Kaiyu knew that Shen Miao was kidnapped by others? She said with much difficulty, "After shopping, Shen Miao, Lu Tan and me came to eat. When we were done I returned to the restaurant to find something." Shen Miao and Lu Tan stayed in the horse carriage and traitors infiltrated the Feng residence guards. They stole the horse carriage and kidnapped Shen Miao and Lu Tan. My father already sent people to secretly inquire but Feng Anning resolutely held her tears back. "Sorry, it is all my fault." Shen Kaiyu did not even look at Feng Anning, but everyone saw him clenching both of his fists tightly, and could almost hear the cracking of the joints. He took a deep breath and his voice was very calm as he instructed Mo King, "Report to the authorities, seal the city and search. The Shen family army is to be dispatched. Take my tally and instruct it down. Search through the entire city and if the person is found, the Shen family will reward with 10,000 of gold." 10,000 of gold. The surrounding people sucked in a lump of cold air. Feng Anning was also stunned when she heard this, but when she recovered to her senses she felt even more remorseful in her heart. Shen Kaiyu did not even blink when he willingly offered 10,000 of gold and that meant that in his eyes, Shen Miao was like a treasure. But now Shen Miao's life was uncertain. This must be the meaning of the phrase "I did not kill Bo Ren but Bo Ren died because of me." Bo Ren is a character in Three Kingdoms and this is a phrase to describe regret, remorse and sadness. Mo King also looked solemn as he turned away to carry out the orders accordingly. Feng Anning said, "Even though it is easy to seal the city upon reporting to the authorities, but like this rumors would be raised in the Ding capital, and this would be detrimental to Shen Miao's and Lu Tan's reputation." Feng Anning was a female and naturally understood the importance of reputation to a female. Once the matter of Shen Miao and Lu Tan being kidnapped was spread out, other would inevitably be malicious enough to conjecture rumors. Besides, there were enemies of the Shen family in the Ding capital and they would indeed make use of it. Shen Kaiyu said, "Reputation compared to life is not worth a single wen, aka cent. Even if their reputations are damaged, the Shen family can afford to feed them for life." He turned away and walked off. Feng Anning said, "I'm sorry. I am implicated in today's incident. I will definitely pay a visit to apologize one day. This matter has nothing to do with you." There was no emotion in Shen Kaiyu's voice. Those people were well prepared, and took action even with the knowledge of their backgrounds. Even it was not you, they would also find an opportunity to take action. Feng Anning was a little comforted when she heard this, but before she could speak, she heard Shen Kaiyu's faint words again. "However, my apologies. When seeing you, I will inevitably be angry, so it is ideal for Feng young lady not to pay a visit for the time being." He did not even turn back as he strode off, leaving Feng Anning standing alone blankly in the hall. Outside, Akai asked Shen Kaiyu, Young master directly mobilized the Shen family army and not ask Furin's and master's opinion. Ask what fart? Shen Qiu scolded. How would one have more effort to think about this and that now? With those people dare to take such risks, Zhao Zhao and Bia younger sister are in a dangerous situation. To actually dare to scheme on my Shen family, wait till I catch those people. I will make sure they are motherfucking dead. The young and kind-hearted vice general was no doubt extremely angry at this moment. He flipped up to the horse. Go to the administration office of the capital. Even if one need to dig up 3 feet of the entire capital, the persons have to be found. The news that the Shen family's young lady and Bia young lady were kidnapped by evildoers were spread all over the Ding capital. This was a fact that could not be concealed, firstly because when Shen Miao and Lu Tan were kidnapped, the commoners surrounding were all looking, and a few also knew of Feng and Ning's identity. Second was that the administration office of the capital, the city garrison, the officials at the government office, the Shen family army, the Feng family's guards were all activated. With such big movements, it was difficult not to be aware of it. Everyone all knew that Shen Xin doted on his daughter, but this kind of doting almost turned over the entire Ding capital and scared a number of people. After Lu Zuyan and Shen Xin knew of the matter after court, they personally brought along people to do a door-to-door search. They searched the rest of the night without any intake of water and rice. When Zi Jingxing returned from outside, he saw Ji Yushu and Jie Aoyang waiting in the residence. Both of them would usually gather at the Fengxian pawnshop because of Jie Aoyang's particularly sensitive identity, and generally speaking he would not come to the residence of Prince Ruai. Zi Jingxing glanced surprisingly at both of them and handed the thing in his hands to Tai Yi. When the white tiger in the courtyard saw him coming in, it pounced jubilantly and fluttered to Zi Jingxing's feet and bit his trousers affectionately. Zi Jingxing bent down to pick the white tiger up and asked, "What is the matter?" Jiao Yang looked at Ji Yushu as Ji Yushu stared at the white tiger. After staring at it for a moment, he said determinedly, "There is something to inform you of." "What?" Zi Jingxing went out of the city alone today, so he really did not know what happened in the Ding capital. Lately the public security of the Ding capital is not very good and is in some chaos. Ji Yushu scratched his ears and spoke around the matter. Just today, there was a young lady that went shopping on the streets and was robbed of her horse carriage at the restaurant, even with a number of family guards around. There were 2 official families' young ladies in the carriage. Till now, the search still came up with nothing. Zi Jingxing stared at Ji Yushu. Ji Yushu shivered as he felt that his gaze on him was somewhat cold and trembled. "Both Jie Aoyang and me wanted to warn you. Your beauty is not worse off than those young ladies, so you must be careful," Zi Jingxing said calmly. "Ji Yushu, you also know the person I am speaking of. It is the 5th Shen young lady." Ji Yushu quickly said it out and quietly took a step back to hide behind Jie Aoyan. There was a moment of silence in the room, and the person. Ji Yushu looked blankly at the room. There was only the white tiger that was thrown on the floor, howling in pain. "Are you stupid?" Jie Aoyang looked at him coldly. "Smarter than you," Ji Yushu replied. At the same time, Shen Qiu, who was searching within the various parts of the city for Shen Miao, heard the news that Lu Tan had been found. Mo King said, "Lu young lady soon would not make it,